Rivalry versus racism. So by now you know what happened at the premier Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game, where Caitlin Clark flagrantly hard-fouled Angel Reese. If you were living under a rock and didn't see it, you can go back to the last We Watch Angel recap. Since the game, the media and the fans have been in an uproar over several things. 1. The ill treatment of Angel Reese in the Indiana Fever Stadium. Controversial comments made by Robert Griffin, who is not known for basketball conversations. Later, when another player advised him on taking that sort of stance in this racial climate, Griffin only doubled down.
So Robert Griffin III, Mr. R.G. Me, made some comments about Angel Reese hating Caitlin Clark.
I know I'm not the only one to notice, but you black men, y'all got on y'all capes today for Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese she got fouled pretty hard, and she turned around like, what the hell is going on? Like she was ready to, put some work in, which any athlete, if they feel like they've been fouled hard, gonna turn around and react and respond that way, regardless of who it is. But RG Me made it a point to point out and to jump on the bandwagon of people that hate Angel Reese and try to paint her as the angry black woman who's jealous of the successful white basketball player.
So Ryan Clark defended Angel Reese.
RG3 called what Angel Reese did hate. He said you could see the hate on her face for Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure when we moved in to being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps on to the hate train or to the angry train and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlin Clark's heroic or hero story.
Perhaps he wasn't the proper candidate to have this discussion.
One thing Ryan Clark gonna do, he gonna sit his tail in that circle on that Pivot podcast, and he gonna deliver a read. Baby, the way Ryan went in on RG3 about his comments on Angel Reese. Ryan said, let's be clear, Asia Wilson is the face of the WNBA. Let's be clear, Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. Period. Then he went on to talk about that other girl, and he said, hey, this is politics here. That's all it is.
Griffith did not agree and stated that there's a line you do not cross in life, and Ryan Clark sprinted past it. He proceeded to go online and talk about Reese with his wife in the background.
And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping.
The next day, the wife wanted smoke and posted on the family TikTok. I questioned what her beef was, since comments about her made by Clark weren't that bad. I've met the lady. I've had a conversation with her. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what black women deal with a lot from black men who have chose to date or marry outside of their race. The propositioning of the wife and her response tells us all we need to know. Of course, Griffin tried to create the narrative that Clark attacked his wife, and Clark doubled down on the truth. Like I said, I met your wife, and she seemed like a lovely lady that was worth more than the color of her skin. You be good, bruh. In the end, it turns out that this was just a scheme to rage bait people into shopping with his wife, pitting the wife and her product against those that were against the behavior of Angel Reese. And it worked. The product sold out. And the icing on the cake was the media had the audacity to be mad that Angel reposted this TikTok from a well-informed fan.
Have to stop calling what's happening between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky a rivalry, because it is so far from that. The rivalry is such an inappropriate word in relation to the severity of the situation at hand. And the situation at hand is that when Angel Reese walks in to the Indiana Fever arena, she is no longer safe. She is not safe, because there are some Indiana Fever fans who are racist, who will treat her like she's not a human being, who will hurl slurs and threats her way, and that is not okay. That's not harmless. That's not a thing that happens in sports. It is not okay. And I know the WNBA is currently investigating the racism that occurred at that game. Those decisions need to be made beforehand and then in the moment, because you all knew that was going to happen. You all knew that that environment is an unsafe environment for Angel. You needed to have people ready to go to understand when somebody says a slur that they are no longer allowed in that arena. I know that's hard to do, but I don't know what measures need to be upped. Everything needs to be upped. This is not a rivalry. This is a dangerous situation for a player who you need to protect. So that's my take on all of this. I just think it's in my mind, it's like, how can you have any other take other than we know this is happening, we know that it is atrocious, and we know it needs to stop. I love women's sports. We have to do better.
We don't watch sports. We watch Angel. TM on Multimedia.